Nice to meet you all. Lovely to meet you. My name is Phillipa. I get called Pip a lot. I head up the commercial legal team here at Revolut. Hopefully most of you have heard of Revolut if you're here. And hopefully a lot of you have got a Revolut account. That would be even better. But I've been with Revolut for 5.5 years. So joined in April 2019 when the company was just UK, EU. I think it had maybe a couple million customers, maybe 500, 600 employees, and now much more global, 45 million customers and 10,000 employees. So it's been a really fun ride. And yeah, happy to share some stories and chat a little bit about digital banking and answer any questions you've got about the fintech industry.
Good. So hi, Sean Forward. I'm currently with Clearbank. I'm actually in a similar position to a lot of you guys. I've quite recently joined Clearbank, but I'll tell you a little bit about the journey as we go through, or maybe how I've ended up here and what an exciting company Clearbank is. Clearbank is the first new clearing bank in the UK for the last 250 years. I'll get into a little bit what clearing bank is later, but it's really the fundamental movement of money, particularly around the UK. So it's connections into different networks. And what we've got on top of that is amazing technology, which allows amazing companies like Revolut and others to connect directly to the Bank of England, and also the payment networks that, again, we'll talk more about as we go. My background, I actually used to be a PE teacher when that's what I graduated in. And then I decided teaching wasn't quite for me at the time. And I thought, right, what do I like? I like money and I like tech. And this is a long time ago, before tech really was a thing. And what happened is I got involved with stuff, and I met people, and that's going to be my revolving message to everybody here. And it's also to the people that I've mentored in the companies that I've worked in and owned, is connections and network is always the thing. You know, you'll be amazed as you go down your journeys, go along your journeys, is the people that you connect with in these types of environment. They'll pop up with, oh, I remember you, you're from, you were there. So make sure you try and get rid of that little bit of anxiety about going and introducing yourselves, because everybody else, including us, have that same anxiety. Okay, so get out, say hello, and sort of say hello. So we have to practice this, yeah. So it's a bit of a...
So a little bit about advice around getting into careers in fintech, kind of ways to approach it. Is to think about. I think my main advice for you guys, you already obviously are well on the way in terms of, staying involved, staying interested, attending events like this. But I would be really open about your career choices. Like, don't limit yourself down. The great thing about fintech as an industry is that it's very new, it's very innovative. The products that you're building, the challenges that you're solving are all new challenges. And so therefore a lot of the roles are new roles as well. And, just because you've perhaps trained in one area does not mean that you should limit yourself or box yourself in from going and being curious and getting some experience on another side of the business, and kind of growing your career organically like that. I think that compared to other organisations that I've worked in, and to give you a bit of background, I studied law in New Zealand, joined a private practice law firm, got loaned out on a secondment to a company, loved it, never looked back, didn't go back, but worked for a very big legacy renewable energy company, which was lovely. But when I came to London, I wanted more of that startup scale-up experience, and that's what led me to Revolut. And what I think about, like, all of the companies that I see that we work alongside, that are operating in fintech, they're young, they are really innovative, and they're really keen for people that have experience on one side of the business to go and learn another side of the business. And so that means that you can have a really interesting zigzag career that doesn't follow necessarily like the traditional linear path of I started as an account manager and then I worked my way up the account manager levels, I would really try and broaden your horizons, keep that experience open, especially if you are working in some of these fintech companies, because they'll love that. Your value to that company will grow exponentially because you know multiple areas of the business and you know how they impact each other and you can leverage and bring that experience. And that also makes you more marketable and more employable going forward as well for other, other roles that you might look for in the future. So I think that it's a really exciting, interesting industry to be a part of. And I think one of the key points about working in fintech versus any other industry that I've worked in or any other type of organization I've worked in are those opportunities to say, okay, cool, I don't have any experience over here, but I'm passionate and I'm interested and I'm going to get myself up the curve. Let me go over there and help over here on this project, or let me go learn more about this side of the business. And then you slowly start kind of working that experience up and knowledge up. And suddenly you realize, they were talking just before the other day in the other room about generalist versus specialist. I think there's merit to being both. And I think that fintech companies offer you a really great opportunity to get kind of more than just kind of your traditional career path experience.
No, I totally agree. I think being curious is one of the best assets as a human, not only in your sort of work life, but also in your personal lives as well. Just be interested, view other people as so that your next new friend, if you like. Maybe it's a bit thorny, but if you go into that with open eyes and arms, normally you get a positive response. I just wanted to understand a little bit about you guys a little bit. I know there's actually a bigger crowd than I anticipated, but we got. Where are you at? Are you university? Who's at university at the moment? Okay, first year, second year.
Going into my third year.
Into third year, right? So coming out at the other end. Anybody still at school? Is there sixth form people here, or is it mainly universities? Sixth form at the back. Yeah, you can see the sixth formers at the back. There at the back. Yeah, lovely stuff. Okay, good. Yeah, and what's your sense? Are you technical? Are you marketing? Or where do you? What's your degree in?
Business management.
Business management. Okay, business. Techies, any techies? Techies there, fantastic. Techies, yeah, okay. What else? Anything else?
Banking, marketing.
Marketing there?
Banking, MBA, finance.
Okay, okay. In a particular thread, or is it just sort of general?
Marketing.
Marketing, okay.
And then second degree, finance, and then specifically.
Okay, good.
So I've done masters in computer science, lot back, and then I got a technology experience. Now I'm pursuing fintech master.
Fantastic. What could employ this man? Yeah, fantastic. Excellent, thank you.
I'm passionate about fintech.
Okay, good. Yeah, we are. It's great. It's a great industry to be in. So I think immediately there that it just shows that you've got a range of threads within the fintech industry. Often we've got there's a really good fundamental idea that's happening, but you need this infrastructure in order to grow. Okay, and usually it's the marketing budget and it's that pushing out and getting people to know about those products is absolutely vital. Okay, but you do have to have a really good core technical piece as well within your offering, doing something good, something useful. Okay, so I mean, there is such a wide spread of things you can do. You can join the company. There's some amazing, especially in London and across Europe. There's some incredible businesses that are scaling within these spaces. But there's also entrepreneurial things you can do. If you've got an idea, go for it. Particularly, when you're younger, you've got you've got less to lose within the journey. Be bold. Okay, get out there, do something. If you believe in yourself and you tell others, usually you can get them to believe in you as well on that side. So
And any graduates? Who are applying? Yeah.
Okay, I missed that bit.
The other thing I'd add is like advice for going for targeting roles in fintech. Depending on the age and stage of the company, it will look very, very different. And your experience of trying to get through a front door to get a job at some of these companies will look very different. Again, like same message, like be bold, break down those walls. For example, my boss, who was the first legal hire at Revolut, he got the job because he was traveling in South America and used the product and loved the product. So when he landed in London, he chased down the founder and literally knocked on the door and said, "You need a lawyer. I'm your guy." And it took a bit of convincing. He had to really convince this that the time was now to bring a lawyer onto the team. But he got there and hasn't looked back. And so I think, while some companies, like for example now Revolut, we're obviously a much bigger company. We've got graduate programs like paid internships that we run, and we've got a real formalized, easy pathway to apply for. But also look at those opportunities, like find companies that you're interested in and be really bold about making those connections, networking, trying to find your way in. When you're doing that, my main advice would be, and I know a lot of this is like really cookie cutter stuff, but it's amazing. I do a lot of interviewing and it's amazing how much still this doesn't happen, is know the company, do your research. If you're wanting to apply for a role there, make sure you have done your research because it just comes through immediately if you haven't. And then also like picking up on what Sean was just saying, you need these fintech companies that have been successful because they've solved problems. They've found a problem, they've solved that for customers, and therefore they've been successful. You yourself need to show that you're a really strong problem solver. So make sure that you're demonstrating that whenever you're having these chats, whether they're informal interviews or formal interviews, make sure that you've got that mindset of being a problem solver, because that will resonate with these types of companies. And use whatever experience you've got from university, from life experiences to show where you've been able to be thrown into an area where you maybe didn't know what to do, or you had no experience, or you weren't an expert, but you were able to take a really logical, analytical approach and solve that problem and break through. Because that's more like the type of person that they're looking for necessarily than like, yes, great, you've got the degree ticked, you've got the experience. Yes.
How do you sort of do that then, like build your own sort of USP personally before getting to that stage where you sort of showcase what you can potentially do, and outside of your content, how do you like prove to someone that you've got that sort of that wow factor before you do that?
Yeah, really good question. You will have had these moments in life, and it will have been either at university or in previous jobs that you've had if you've had more like part-time experience. You will have had those experiences where you are struggling because you don't know what you're doing, and you've had to figure it out along the way. So I would say like don't let a lack of like formal work experience put you off that, because everyone's had that experience, whether it was at school, whether it was in a sports environment, like everyone's had that. I would really encourage you to, like sit down and think about a couple of really strong examples of where you've had that in life, and pre-think about that before you come into an interview. In terms of like what you can do to grow your USP, I think for me, it's like anything that demonstrates that someone is taking more of an interest than just kind of coasting through and throwing their hat in the ring for a role, really shines through. Like you see it immediately. Like someone who is naturally interested in the company and the product and can talk really genuinely about that interest shines through immediately. So like that would be like probably the easiest and the number one thing I would recommend. Because a lot of people say, yes, I want a job at X. For example, at Revolut, it's very common to get people to saying, I want a job at Revolut. I love how the high growth story is such a successful company. It's like, yeah, cool, that's great. But like, what is it specifically about us that you like? What is it about our product? Like, has it saved you from a travel, issue? Have we made you lots of money on crypto trading? I don't know. Like, what is it that you love about us? And so I think being really like genuinely interested about that will help grow your USP as well, because it's amazing how many people, and that might be something to practice as well. It might be due to nerves; it's just not coming through. But
Sorry, can I just follow on with that? Was just I'll be quick. To make some real practical things you can do as well. We end up in the business world spending a lot of time on LinkedIn, and make sure you spend a bit of time on getting your LinkedIn stuff there. Now, it might be that you haven't got much career experience yet. I think that's fine. But if you've done other things, you've travelled, you've done Duke of Edinburgh, if you've done something that's outside of your academic sphere, but put that on as well. Put it down, because it's all about, again, it's all about the connection. The other thing on that, and following on from what Phillipa was saying, is that you really do the research, and that's you're all here because you're interested in fintech. Choose some companies that you're really interested in. Understand the product, use the product, and then you say, yes, I like it. I want to work for that company. Get it in your head. That's what you want to do. Follow it on LinkedIn, follow it on social media, start seeing the people, connecting on LinkedIn, see if there's some sort of event just like this. Go to those events, link in, try and build your network. Because as we just said there, is when you get a chance to sit in front of people who are interviewing, you can talk passionately and knowledgeably about them. Okay, so it's getting that one step ahead, and the way to do that is to show real interest, real passion, and something that's a little bit different. Just very quick. That's actually what I ended up doing in my current role. And I'm very much towards the end of my career. I had a company that I sold about 3 or 4 years ago. I worked in that company until I was able to leave, which was a fantastic experience. But then I chose, where do I want to go to next? What do I want to do? And I was lucky. I ended up being able to connect directly with the CEO of this new company, Clearbank. Okay, and pinged them on LinkedIn, follow on LinkedIn, you end up at the same events. Oh, fancy seeing you here again. Well, that's a surprise, I'm coming to work for you, you don't know it yet, but get it in your head, that's what you're going to do. Sorry.
Pardon me for interrupting, and we need to go to a different session. Thank you very much to our speakers. Okay, give me some.
yeah.
If you want to,
If you've got any more questions, send to us.
just send off forward. I just think about how to replicate or applications and LinkedIn because
Yeah.
as soon as job is posted, it's like all of them. Literally, people are just flying. We have like experience from underground to experienced people, like literally spend the time in a role.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate it? How do you win the game of application? How do you win the game of fintech? Networking is fun, but how do you differentiate it? How the application is just come through?
I think that's been constant feedback at the moment, right? Is like everyone's getting absolute application fatigue because everyone's bombing it hundreds and maybe getting 5 responses back.
Sorry guys, everyone, we're going to have a network. Definitely going to consider the chat. Thank you very much.